this big awakening is really bringing a lot up to the surface. Dogs have it right. They shake it off. So today I'm going to show you how to shake off all this low vibrational stuff that may be coming your way with the interactions you're having. So I got these 3 things here. I don't know if you can see them, but I'm going to talk about these 3 ways that you're going to be able to just let go of this low vibrational stuff from kind of these toxic conversations you're having that kind of are necessary, because as we go through the Great Awakening, things come up, right? The turkey pan has to get dirtier before it really gets cleaned after Thanksgiving. So let's dive in how to keep our vibe high during the Great Awakening. My name is Rebecca Abraxas. I love helping people remember their greatness, and I love doing it together. So let's dive in. Well, first off, you know how dogs do that? My dog does it. I have the cutest little dog. Well, he's not really that little, but you might have seen him in some other videos, Max. But when he shakes, his whole butt comes off the ground, and it's hysterical. So when dogs go through something traumatic, they kind of just shake it off, and their whole nervous system kind of resets. Why can't we do that? Well, we kind of can if we are using these awareness tools. So let's dive in so we can rise high today. You know, we're all going through some big stuff. Families and friends, workers, like we all have to commune and communicate together, talk things out. And when that happens, sometimes the kind of heavy stuff has to surface before things get lighter. It's kind of like what's happening across the board on planet Earth. Things are getting a little heavier to get lighter. And sometimes we do have to do that deep dive to kind of get the vibe higher. And kind of went through that yesterday with someone in my family, and it was really intense. But it was worth it. It was hours and hours going through stuff, and this person just knows how to just push the right button. So before you go into any 3 of these techniques of kind of washing away and shaking things off, the best thing to do, I have found, is to ask what you are aware of. It's super important to say, what awareness is coming up for me right now? Because honestly, if someone's really jabbing at you and it triggers you and it hurts, that means there's something inside with your ego, with some wounded ego stuff. This stuff hurts, guys. Some people can know just where to sting and just the right words. But the cool part about this, and this is why I love this type of work, is that you get to know where some of your points are that you want to evolve, that you want to bring to the surface and say, why is this a sting? What am I aware of here? What am I making important here that if I didn't make important anymore would just let my life just open up and let my vibration fly and soar? So when we are in these type of interactions, it is such a gift, because we get to really see and open the book of our lives and say, oh, I don't really want this to be a belief system anymore. I don't really want this to be ruling my life anymore. Because when those stings come up and we get triggered and we get hurt, there's a lot of awareness there. Our emotions and our feelings are a super capacity tool to bring up awareness for ourselves of where we are living and where we don't want to be living anymore and where we do want to be living. So first key before we get to any of these things is ask, what awareness am I gleaning from this? See what comes up. Grab a journal and start writing. Gosh, I have so many journals over the years. It's kind of crazy, but it really helps to write the awareness down that comes when you ask that question. So let's dive into these 3 things so you can feel better. All right. Number 1, I learned this from my Reiki training. I'm a Holy Fire Reiki master, and through the training, we learned this technique called dry bathing. Okay, so when you are in kind of a toxic communication with someone and it has to get super low vibe and yucky for the light to go on eventually, that residue frequency, that low frequency might stick to you. So dry bathing is super, super efficient. And what you do is a physical technique, but also an intentional technique. So where's dry bathing? Right here. Dry bathing. This is what you do. You take one hand and cross it over and you swipe it down. Other hand, swipe it down. And then cross over and just make a big X across your body like that. Whoosh, whoosh. Yeah, just get that stuff off you. Now this works best when you have an intention of letting it go. So just letting go of all the low frequencies, all those hurtful words, all that energy, those energetic daggers, just dry bath. All right. Super efficient, super simple. Your intention is key with this. And then this ritual of just brushing it off. Super key. Works great. The next one is Ascension Shower. Your Ascension Shower. What the heck is that? That sounds weird. The Ascension Shower is basically, I'm really into this lately, is that if there is no time, right? If everything's happening at the same time, we get to tune in to our ascended selves, our most realized, enlightened selves. It's existing at the same time as we are right here. So we can tune in to that frequency. That ascended self is our authentic self, basically. That spark of the divine, of that infinite beingness, right? So we get to be that right now. So this morning, what I did was I just asked, okay, can ascension energy, can you just shower down those high vibes for me? And I just felt like I was taking a shower in these high frequencies. It felt so good. And one of the things that I love about using high frequency showers is that you feel completely renewed, but also when you have high frequency in your field and yourself, the low frequencies actually kind of buffer, like they don't kind of get in and stick to you. Think of it, those low vibrations as like kind of an energetic dagger, right? And they kind of stick in. Think of yourself as a pin cushion or a dartboard, and those darts stick in. Well, with that high vibration buffer, they just kind of go, they just don't stick in there. So you get to not have the effect of them. So when you are vibing high, right, and that buffer really keeps those things from really getting into you. But you know, those words, those mean words that are said over and over to kind of hurt you, sometimes they wear us down. And sometimes those low frequencies that are kind of ninja in our subconscious start to come up, and our vibe goes down during the duration of, say, one of these events or communication events with someone. So, you know, don't beat yourself up if your vibe isn't high enough to kind of, you know, deflect them. Just do the dry bath, okay? Do your ascension shower, get high vibed again. You know, I got to do this every day. All right. Number 3 is over here. I don't know if you can see it. Return to sender. This is an access consciousness tool that I've used for years now. It is invaluable. I've talked about it a few videos ago, and probably have said a lot about this in a lot of videos because it's really an important tool. So when you are in this kind of toxic communication with someone, the low vibrations coming up so that higher vibrations can come through, you know, sometimes we just have to go through these events. It's just how it is sometimes. Move in energy. We just don't want to have to take that lower frequency energy into our bodies and our reality. So obviously it's not ours if someone's spewing it at us. So we want to just say, return to center. I'm just returning this to center. And you don't do it in front of them saying, I'm returning this to center. That would be a bad idea, trigger them even more. But, you know, when you're done with this encounter, you know, get outside into nature and just say, I'm returning this to sender with a lot of love and consciousness. I did that after my episode with my family member yesterday. So just return it to sender. It's not yours, it's theirs. However, if something's coming at you, right, we're kind of all co-creators in our realities, right? So if something's stirring and you're in this conversation with someone, most likely you're vibing something to have this. So that's why in the beginning I said, what am I aware of here? What is this bringing up for me? And what's so cool about situations like this, even though they're super uncomfortable to go through, they really do help us expand our awareness about what's happening in our subconscious that's really ruling the show. That in our conscious world, we're saying like, I'm high vibing, I'm a money magnet, I'm so grateful. All that's happening on the conscious level. So we're like, why am I attracting all this wonky, hard stuff? Well, as you're saying, I'm grateful, I'm high vibing, the other stuff's like smoldering under here in the subconscious. And as you're saying, you're grateful, you're high vibing, this stuff starts to kind of start shimmying and shaking, and it needs to be looked at or released, or it's not a match anymore. So the subconscious starts to kind of really bubble, and whatever's going to match that, right, is going to come at you. No problem, because you want this stuff out of the subconscious, right? We want this stuff out of here. We want to have a pure vessel of high vibes, right? Pure vessel of high vibes. So let that shit come up. Let it come up and out. So we just have to learn how to work with it once it is up so that we don't kind of encapsulate it again and re-traumatize ourselves. And that's where these three things come in handy. So as you go through kind of this butting of heads and this toxic communication, which is sometimes necessary to grow more awareness, to release this shit out of your subconscious and create deeper bonds with your family and friends, and to, raise your vibration, we're going to do these three things. So I'll recap. And number one is dry bathing, intending, just releasing this, letting it go. Number two is Ascension Shower. Just tune in with your ascended self and ask your ascended self to just shower you with the highest consciousness vibes, and just feel that in your auric field and in your central channel, which is your whole body. And then finally, you can do return to sender. I'm going to return all of this to sender with love. And when you are returning to sender, not only are you returning to sender from the spewing of that person doing the toxic communication, you're also returning to sender the seed of that sits in your subconscious. So where did you buy into, where did you get the messaging that somehow is matching this person's communication? So you're also returning to sender the seed and the root of where that even happened in your subconscious on your timeline. So you can return to sender all of it. And so that person is mirroring something in your subconscious. And when you say to return to sender, that whole line, that's all rooted and seeded right from your subconscious. Let's just return all of that to sender. So visualize that when you're returning to sender. Not only are you returning this person's junk to sender, you're returning your junk from the seed all the way back in your timeline to its sender too, where you picked that up from. That's so cool, isn't it? And all of this is it's just cool ninja energy hacks to help you vibe high. I hope this was super helpful. Anyone else have a wonky weekend or a wonky day? Let me hear about it in the comments. Are these three things helpful, and anything we talked about today helpful? I so hope it was, and I hope you are rising high now in your highest vibration today. Be sure to join the tribe and subscribe and ring the bell this will help get this important content out there. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube, and a lot of it's really entertaining. A lot of it's not. These type of tools are invaluable to all of us as we go through this great awakening on planet Earth and we rise into our higher dimensions. So your subscription and ringing the bell really helps me get into the algorithm and get this information out to more folks. So thank you so much for your part. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.